Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, who is aboard International Space Station. PM Modi congratulates Shukla for making 1.4 billion Indians proud.
ये जो मेरी यात्रा है, ये पृथ्वी से ऑर्बिट की 400 किलोमीटर तक की जो छोटी सी यात्रा है, ये सिर्फ मेरी नहीं है। मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं हमारे देश की भी यात्रा है। बिकॉज जब मैं छोटा था, मैं कभी सोच नहीं पाया कि मैं एस्ट्रोनॉट बन सकता हूँ, लेकिन मुझे लगता है आपके नेतृत्व में आज का भारत ये मौका देता है और उन सपनों को साकार करने का भी मौका देता है।
Pakistani Taliban suicide bomber hits military convoy in North Waziristan, kills 16 soldiers, injures civilians, including children. Thousands rally in Bangkok demanding PM Petongtang Chinawat's resignation over leaked call. Iran conducts funeral for commanders and scientists killed in clashes with Israel. US President Trump issues warning to Tehran over renewed uranium enrichment. Tensions in West Asia may have briefly cooled, but the rhetoric between Iran and the United States is once again heating up. US President Donald Trump has issued a sharp warning to Tehran, while Iranian leaders push back with strong words of their own. Amid the war of words, tensions on the ground remain high. Here's more on the unfolding situation.
Tensions in West Asia appear to be momentarily calm, but relations between Iran and the United States seem to have veered off track. In his recent statement, US President Donald Trump has threatened Iran, saying that he would consider bombing Iran again if Tehran attempts to develop nuclear weapons.
Let me say that I've been saying for 25 years, even as a civilian, you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. And that's what happened. It's been obliterated. It would be years before they could ever get going. And I really think it's probably the last thing. They have to recover from a hell of a tough war. Sure. Again. Without question, absolutely. And have you had any conversations? Turned out to be unbelievable.
In response to Trump's statement, Iran condemned Washington's remarks a day after Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei delivered a victory speech. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi cautioned Trump, saying that if he wishes to reach an understanding with the Supreme Leader, he would need to set aside his tone. In a post on X, he said, if President Trump truly wishes to reach an agreement, he should set aside his disrespectful and unacceptable tone towards the Iranian Supreme Leader, Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, and stop hurting his millions of sincere supporters. On the other hand, mourners dressed in black lined the streets at Enqilab Revolution Square in Iran's capital, Tehran, at a funeral on Saturday for top military commanders, nuclear scientists and civilians killed during this month's conflict with Israel.
We are here to show the enemy that we are all united and we will not abandon this country, and none of us will leave our country in a lurch.
The war of words continue and tensions remain on edge. Only time will tell when Iran and the US will return to the negotiating table. With Bureau Inputs, Siddharth Bharadwaj's report for DD India.
US President Donald Trump said on Friday that he expects to get the conflict solved with North Korea. Speaking from the Oval Office, he described his relationship with Kim Jong-un as really great and expressed confidence that any potential conflict would be resolved without involving the United States.
Well, if there is a conflict, I get along with him very, very well. and we'll get the conflict solved with North Korea. I've had a good relationship with Kim Jong-un, and I've gotten along with him really great, so we'll see what happens. But somebody's saying there's a potential conflict. I think we'll work it out if there is. It wouldn't involve us, but again, we're very far away from a lot of these places that we're solving problems with.
US President Donald Trump has said that he has put an end to trade talks with Canada and will soon announce a new tariff rate for that country. Trump's action comes ahead of Canada's plans to begin collecting on Monday a previously enacted digital services tax on US technology firms, including Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, Google and Apple, among others. Trump administration's abrupt decision came as the neighboring nations were working to agree a trade deal by mid-July. DD India's Raghav Jha reports.
US President Donald Trump abruptly cut off trade talks with Canada on Friday over its tax targeting US technology firms, saying it was a blatant attack and that he would set a new tariff rate on Canadian goods within the next week. Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform, and I quote, "Based on this egregious tax, we are hereby terminating all discussions on trade with Canada effective immediately." Trump was referring to Canada's 3% digital services tax, which was enacted last year and forecast to bring in $4.2 billion over 5 years. US service providers will be on the hook for a multi-billion-dollar payment in Canada from June 30. It has been a sticking point in Canada's relationship with the US since the law was enacted last year. The 3% tax applies to larger multinational companies such as Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Apple and Google that provide digital services to Canadians. Business groups estimate it will cost American companies more than $2 billion a year. The move plunges US-Canada relations back into chaos after a period of relative calm that included a cordial G7 meeting in mid-June where Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney agreed to wrap up a new economic agreement within 30 days. Responding to Trump's announcement, Canadian PM Mark Carney said his government will continue to engage in these complex negotiations with the United States in the best interests of Canadian workers and businesses.
We'll continue to conduct these complex negotiations in the best interests of Canadians. It's a negotiation.
Canada is the second largest US trading partner after Mexico and the largest buyer of US exports. It bought $349.4 billion of US goods last year and exported $412.7 billion to the US, according to the US Census Bureau data. Both countries have imposed tariffs on each other's goods after Trump sparked a trade war earlier this year and threatened to annex Canada using economic force. US President's latest move casts doubt on a future deal with Canada, although Trump often uses social media threats to try to gain leverage in talks or speed up negotiations he sees as stalling. Raghav Kumar Jha's report for DD India.
Tensions continue to rise in Thailand as thousands take to the streets demanding Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatre's resignation. The political crisis follows a leaked phone call and a deadly border clash with Cambodia. With the coalition weakened and opposition mounting, Paetongtarn faces growing uncertainty. Rabindra Chauhan reports.
Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra remains under mounting pressure as her government faces mounting anger over a border dispute with Cambodia. On Saturday, hundreds of protesters gathered in the Thai capital Bangkok demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra. Protest rally came following a leaked phone call with Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen. In the call, she referred to a Thai military commander as her opponent, sparking nationalist outrage and prompting the Boom Jai Thai party to withdraw from her coalition. Demonstrators waving flags assembled at Victory Monument in Bangkok, a symbolic war memorial, in a protest organized by the United Force of Land, a nationalist group known for opposing Shinawatra-linked governments for decades.
The unacceptable issues are about the border. It's about Onging, telling that the army commander is not on our side. And second, telling Hun Sen, tell me what you want. This is what we cannot accept.
Meanwhile, Cambodia's Senate President and ruling party leader Hun Sen has expressed a willingness to resolve the dispute peacefully. However, he condemned what he called illegal attacks by Thai troops on Cambodian forces on May 28, which resulted in the death of a Cambodian soldier.
The illegal attacks by the Thai army on Cambodian troops on May 28 at Mom Bay area in Cambodian territory is a serious violation of the sovereignty and integrity of Cambodia. This situation is a repeat of history, but we have the will to solve the problems peacefully.
Earlier, in response to escalating tensions, both Thailand Prime Minister and Cambodia's former Premier made separate visits to the contested border area on Thursday, highlighting the seriousness of the situation. Earlier on June 19, pressures mounted on Thai Prime Minister to resign following withdrawal of a major coalition partner in connection with her handling of the ongoing border crisis with Cambodia. Let's have a look at current political scenario in Thailand. Pheu Thai Party placed at the centre, representing the current ruling party. Bhum Jai Thai Party clearly marked as having withdrawn its support. Other coalition partners shown to indicate political uncertainty. Arrows point toward potential no-confidence vote. Early June, leaked phone call with Cambodia's Hun Sen. Mid-June, border clash results in Cambodian soldier's death. June 22nd, Bhum Jai Thai Party exits coalition. June 28, major protest in Bangkok. The rally, the largest anti-government protest since her Pheu Thai Party came into power in 2023, adds pressure on Petong Tan, who is struggling to revive a faltering economy and maintain a fragile coalition ahead of a potential no-confidence vote next month. Bureau Report, DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi had an inspiring conversation with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as the astronaut continues his mission aboard the International Space Station. The conversation offered a rare glimpse into the life and work of an Indian astronaut in space and underscored India's growing role in global space exploration.
आप तो मुझे भली भांति जानते हैं, जब भी किसी से बात होती है तो मैं होमवर्क जरूर देता हूं। हमें मिशन गगनयान को आगे बढ़ाना है। हमें अपना खुद का स्पेस स्टेशन बनाना है और चंद्रमा पर भारतीय एस्ट्रोनॉट की लैंडिंग भी करानी है। इन सारे मिशंस में आपके अनुभव बहुत काम आने वाले हैं। मुझे विश्वास है आप वहां अपने अनुभवों को जरूर रिकॉर्ड कर रहे होंगे।
जी प्रधानमंत्री जी, बिल्कुल ये पूरा मिशन की ट्रेनिंग लेने के दौरान और एक्सपीरियंस करने के दौरान जो मुझे लेसन्स मिले हैं, जो मुझे सीख मिली है, वो सब एक स्पॉन्ज की तरह मैं एब्जॉर्ब कर रहा हूँ और मुझे यकीन है कि ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत वैल्यूएबल प्रूव होंगी, बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट होंगी हमारे लिए जब मैं वापस आऊँगा और हम इन्हें इफेक्टिवली अपने मिशंस में इनके लेसन्स अप्लाई कर सकेंगे।
Talking to Shubhanshu, Prime Minister Modi said that his journey had inspired a new interest in science among the youth and children of the country and their passion for space exploration had grown.
देश के बच्चों में, युवाओं में विज्ञान को लेकर एक नई रुचि पैदा हुई। अंतरिक्ष को एक्सप्लोर करने का जज्बा बढ़ा। अब आपकी ये ऐतिहासिक यात्रा उस संकल्प को और मजबूती दे रही है। आज बच्चे सिर्फ आसमान नहीं देखते, वे यह सोचते हैं मैं भी वहां पहुंच सकता हूं। यही सोच, यही भावना हमारे भविष्य के स्पेस मिशंस की असली बुनियाद है।
Shubhanshu also echoed the Prime Minister's encouragement through his space journey, saying that this is a journey for the entire country.
कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हो रही हैं जो दर्शाती हैं कि मैं और मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे लोग हमारे देश में और हमारा भारत किस दिशा में जा रहा है। ये जो मेरी यात्रा है, ये पृथ्वी से ऑर्बिट की 400 किलोमीटर तक की जो छोटी सी यात्रा है, ये सिर्फ मेरी नहीं है, मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं हमारे देश की भी यात्रा है।
And still to come on DD India NewsHour. Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have signed a US brokered peace agreement. India's economy remains on strong footing despite global risks. Amazon tycoon Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are now married. Stay tuned to know more.
When resources are tight, it's time to rethink how we consume, how easily we throw things away, but often, bold ideas in our day-to-day lives can really turn things around.
In the mission, the school-level children are given the concept of waste management and circular economy.
The big advantage is you don't have to go back to the start of the chain like mining iron ore. You can reuse materials that have already been processed. So the sustainability aspects alone are incredibly valuable.
We are not trying to aim for fully automated, 100% digitized assets. We are always proposing a hybrid sort of operation where you're blending in technology where it's useful.
We have been making handicrafts from banana plants for quite some time now. Currently, we produce around 30 products.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo have signed a US-brokered peace agreement. Rwanda has agreed to withdraw its troops from eastern Congo. This report has the details.
Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo signed a US-brokered peace agreement on Friday, raising hopes for an end to fighting that has killed thousands and displaced hundreds of thousands. The deal was signed by the foreign ministers of the two neighboring nations in Washington, D.C., in the presence of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
With the continued support of the United States and other partners, we believe that a turning point has been reached. Rwanda stands ready to work with the DRC to deliver on our joint commitments.
These are not just words on paper. They must now be translated into action with justice, accountability, and political will. This peace agreement is the starting point, not the end goal.
US President Donald Trump hailed the agreement, which aims to attract billions of dollars of Western investment to eastern Congo, which is rich in minerals like copper, lithium, and gold.
And this is a long time waiting, the signing of a historic peace agreement between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda.
Global leaders also welcomed the deal, with French President Emmanuel Macron saying that it was a historic step forward after decades of suffering. While UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called it a significant step towards de-escalation. As per the deal, the two sides have pledged to implement a 2024 agreement that would see Rwandan troops withdraw from eastern Congo within 90 days. The two countries will also launch a regional economic integration framework within the same time frame. Rwanda has sent at least 7,000 soldiers to DR Congo. According to DR Congo and UN, the troops have been sent to support M23 rebels who seized eastern Congo's two largest cities and lucrative mining areas in a lightning advance earlier this year. Rwanda has denied helping M23, saying its forces are acting in self-defense against Congo's army and Hutu militiamen linked to the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Rwanda and DR Congo are also holding separate talks in Doha. Bureau Report, DD India.
South Korea's former President Yoon Suk-yeol appeared at the country's prosecutor's office for a summons by a special prosecutor over the ousted leader's failed bid to impose martial law in December. Yoon, through his lawyers, has protested the special prosecutor's demands to appear for questioning under media attention as a violation of his rights and a tactic to publicly humiliate him. The martial law attempt in December shocked a country that had prided itself on becoming a thriving democracy, having overcome military dictatorship in the 1980s. Yoon was later ousted in April by the Constitutional Court that upheld his impeachment by Parliament. Yoon is already on trial for leading the December 3 martial law declaration. He had been arrested in January after resisting authorities armed with a court warrant trying to take him into custody, but was released after 52 days on legal technicalities. Brazil is set to host the BRICS summit on 6th and 7th of July in Rio de Janeiro. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the summit and will also hold bilateral summit with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva as state guest. In this context, our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke exclusively to Kenneth Nobrega, the ambassador of Brazil to India, on the evolving role of BRICS in today's global scenario and the growing trajectory of India-Brazil relations. Take a listen.
I have Ambassador of Brazil to India, Kenneth Nobrega, with me. Excellency, BRICS summit is going to be held in your country. What do you think? What are the priorities of BRICS as you are the host?
We have 6 priorities. The first is reform of global governance, which is a founding platform of BRICS, as you know. The second is climate change financing. The third is global regulation of artificial intelligence. The fourth is global health, achieving a growing partnership in terms of global health. The fifth is economic and financial integration among BRICS countries. And the last one is what we call BRICS institutional reform.
Russia is in war with Ukraine for the last 3 years. The newest member, Iran, has been in war with Israel recently, and there is ceasefire. So Americans are trying, but don't you think that BRICS, being a mammoth organization of 10 countries, can try and mediate a situation of stopping the war?
We are looking for ways of bringing the parts together through dialogue, not through threats. That's a main point. We think that it's better to have an incremental progress than a hasty progress, basically.
Recently, there was an attack on India by terrorists in Pahalgam. Do you think that BRICS should take a united stand against terrorism?
Yes, I think it should clearly condemn and point out that states should maintain good practices, so to speak, when it comes to looking after the terrorist threat in its territories.
Donald Trump became the president of United States. It is like a trade war, perpetrated by United States to all the countries. So do you think that in this BRICS summit, the member countries are going to take some stand so that this doesn't become a trade war?
This kind of stability is what business needs to thrive and countries need to develop. So I think BRICS will make, a clear statement for multilateralism, abiding by the rules, rejecting unilateralism.
How do you project the relationship between India and Brazil in coming years?
Well, let me say that after BRICS summit, Honorable Prime Minister Modi will make a state visit, a full-fledged state visit to Brazil. I think this will a visit where we will see how much the partnership has evolved in the last years.
Do you think that we are going to sign some agreements, some MOUs in this visit?
We are envisaging results in this field in energy, fight against terrorism, intellectual property, health, cooperation in the field of agriculture, among other.
Brazil, the world's largest producer of sugar, hosted a high-level Indian delegation. The delegation from the National Federation of Cooperative Sugar Factories Limited visited Brazil to study the country's sugar industry practices, including ethanol production and sugar dry cleaning processes. During their 5-day tour, the Indian delegation met top sugar industry executives, visited factories, witnessed sugar dry cleaning process and interacted with researchers at ethanol production centers. They aim to implement these practices in India's sugar industry.
In our delegation, we have people from Vasantdada Sugar Institutes, people from private industries also, plus cooperative industries. So this is a very big delegation, and the Embassy of Brazil and India, both have them tied this program very well. So regarding the future challenges and the future prospects about the sugar industry, I think so this was the purpose of our visit.
Every year, these Brazil people or the CTC, they are coming up with at least 2 to 3 different varieties of sugarcane. And so that is really the great work which they are doing in the cities. We can also learn from these experiments which they are having.
We see the farmers are very rich. I mean, we came across some farmers who have their own aircrafts. They leave their home, come to the office in their own aircraft and go back. And this is something which Indian farmer can look forward to. But for the Indian sugar industry is in the total sugar government control industry. And here it is market driven. So decision process becomes faster. And perhaps a day is not far off when India also need to take this route of liberalizing the sugar sector from the clutches of the government controls, and let the industry run on its own and grow. That's some takeaway that we have taken from it.
India's economy remains on strong footing despite global risks, according to monthly economic review for May 2025, which was released by India's Finance Ministry. The high-frequency indicators for the first 2 months of FY26 indicate resilient performance of domestic economy amid the heightened geopolitical situation. E-way bill generation continues to climb, reaching a second all-time high level in May 2025 to 122.7 million. On a YOY basis, it continues to expand in double digits. Construction activity, proxied by steel consumption and cement production, witnessed moderation in momentum. Steel consumption grew by 7% during April-May 2025, while cement production rose by 6.7% during April 2025, remaining lower than the last quarter of FY25. Services activity remained healthy in May 2025, with services PMI at 58.8 compared to 58.7 in April 2025. Retail inflation measured by Consumer Price Index experienced a sustained decline in May 2025, reaching 2.8%, marking the 7th consecutive month of falling retail inflation. Liquidity conditions in the Indian economy have improved as a result of the RBI's measure to enhance liquidity. The banking system experienced an average liquidity deficit of 1.2 lakh crore from February to April 2025. A suicide attack carried out by Pakistani Taliban claimed the lives of 16 soldiers and injured over 24 people, including civilians, in North Waziristan district of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. A suicide bomber rammed an explosive-laden vehicle into a military convoy, causing a devastating explosion. The blast not only targeted security forces but also damaged nearby houses, injuring 6 children. The death toll rose from an initial 13 to 16 soldiers as authorities confirmed the casualties. The attack was claimed by the suicide bomber wing of the Hafiz Gul Bahadur faction, a group affiliated with the Pakistani Taliban. Violence in Pakistan's border regions has surged since the Taliban's return to power in neighboring Afghanistan in 2021. Islamabad has repeatedly accused Kabul of allowing militants to operate from Afghan soil, a claim denied by Taliban. According to reports, nearly 290 security personnel have been killed in similar attacks across Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan provinces since the start of the year. The recent attack underscores the ongoing security challenges Pakistan faces in its volatile border regions. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Hundreds of protesters gathered at St. Jaume Square in central Barcelona on Saturday to rally against the planned €3.2 billion expansion of city's main airport, calling it a threat to environment and an enabler of unsustainable mass tourism. Madrid is sweltering under its first major heat wave of the summer, with the Spanish weather agency warning of extreme temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius across much of country this weekend. The heat wave has left the usually busy streets sparsely populated, with residents and tourists seeking relief in their own unique ways. Heavy rain struck China's southwest Guizhou province again on Saturday, causing the already flood-stricken riverside city of Rongjiang to become partially submerged for the second time this week. That prompted the evacuation of residents to higher ground, with more than 40,000 people in Rongjiang being urgently relocated. The breathtaking sight of a butterfly boom has recently appeared again in a local valley of southwest China's Yunnan province, presenting a rare ecological spectacle. During this period, nearly 2 to 3 million butterfly larvae transform into adults each day in River Valley in Yongjiang County. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. We will have an in-depth discussion as Iran and US engage in war of words. The chariots of sibling deities Lord Balabhadra, Devi Subhadra and Lord Jagannath on Saturday reached destination Gundicha temple. Residents across Delhi witnessed showers on Saturday afternoon.
When resources are tight, it's time to rethink how we consume, how easily we throw things away, but often, bold ideas in our day-to-day lives can really turn things around.
In the mission, the school-level children are given the concept of waste management and circular economy.
The big advantage is you don't have to go back to the start of the chain like mining iron ore. You can reuse materials that have already been processed. So the sustainability aspects alone are incredibly valuable.
We are not trying to aim for fully automated, 100% digitized assets. We are always proposing a hybrid sort of operation where you're blending in technology where it's useful.
We have been making handicrafts from banana plants for quite some time now. Currently, we produce around 30 products.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Siddharth Bhardwaj and a quick recap of headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, who is aboard International Space Station. PM Modi congratulates Shukla for making 1.4 billion Indians proud. Pakistani Taliban suicide bomber hits military convoy in North Waziristan, kills 16 soldiers, injures civilians, including children. Thousands rally in Bangkok demanding PM Paetongtarn Shinawatre's resignation over leaked call. Iran conducts funeral for commanders and scientists killed in clashes with Israel. US President Trump issues warning to Tehran over renewed uranium enrichment. The situation in West Asia appears to be calm for now, but the war of words between Iran and the United States has once again intensified, raising concerns about renewed tensions in the region. Now, to discuss more on this, we've been joined by Amrit Lagoon. He is former Indian ambassador. Sir, Ambassador, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. Now, to begin with, how do you see the situation in West Asia? It appears to be calm, with ceasefire in place as of now, but the war of words between Iran and the US is precarious.
Yeah, I mean, the situation, as rightly said, appears to be calm, but how it will unfold the next few days will be very crucial because, Iran, most of the top commanders have been killed. And then there is a speculation as to how much the Fordo nuclear research plant has been damaged because, of course, in the word of words, that is a very crucial element. And for Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, the most powerful man person perhaps, is still there. I mean, there were rumors whether he will be also he is also one of the targets, and then there were speculations that US has put a red line for Israel. Naturally, see there is who has going the upper hand or not is a debatable question, but definitely Iran has suffered heavy damage. Means their air force during the 12-day or 13-day conflict was nowhere to be seen. The Iranian air force was totally absent. It was totally Israelis were playing the truant. Of course, Israel has also suffered damage, but proportionately, when we see the size of Iran and Israel, Iran is supposed to be 80 times larger than Israel in terms of area. Also, population-wise, it is 10 times larger in area. So, proportionately, Iran has suffered a lot. So, its credibility as a leader in the Middle East or in the Gulf region is at big stake. Its allies, so-called allies, whether we call it Hezbollahs or Hamas or Houthis, they were more or less very silent spectator in the ongoing conflict. Whereas when Israel was operating against Hamas after that October 7 attack, Iran did send some missiles into Israel, but most of them were thwarted because of their iron dome. So, and also Iran, because one of the most important point here is their nuclear program. That is what was always coming up, that it was like an existential threat for a country like Israel if they come up with a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is a member of NPT, National Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, whereas Israel is not one of the few countries. You see, and now Iran Parliament has already passed a resolution that they are withdrawing from this NPT agreement, and therefore the jurisdiction or the supervision of International Atomic Energy Agency gets suspended. Now how much Iran setback it has happened, this because of the operations of Iraq in its nuclear site, that B-2B bombers. Only time will unfold, because not only was the facility bombarded, but many of the top crucial scientists have also been eliminated. So Iran's nuclear program definitely has suffered a setback. How much, that only time will tell. So then there is an internal issue in Iran, because since 1979 it has been under the Ayatollahs. So the Ayatollah Khamenei is the second one after Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who founded the Islamic Republic in 1979. So there is a generation of Iranians who have only seen the rule of Ayatollahs. They do not have the memory of what happened during the Shah's time, who was overthrown in 1979. And because of various multiple factors, including sanction, which Iran has been enduring for such a long time. So they have gone back economically. When the revolution happened in 1979, the GDP of Iran and Saudi Arabia were equal, more or less, and both are big major oil producers in the Middle East. But now Iran's GDP is only 30 to 35% of Saudi Arabia. So that is having results on the ground, where there is a big resentment among the general populace, because most of the whatever resources were coming were going for the armed build-up and other things, or there was wastage or going to proxies. So there is a big resentment. So naturally, Iran has to, especially the current regime, has to put up a brave face. They cannot sound defeatist. In this whole scenario, they have to sound that they have had the upper hand. Whether they had or not, that's a different issue. And therefore, this rhetoric will keep on going on. And more or less, the other factor to be noted, when this 12 or 13-day operation between Israel and Iran was going on, none of the Gulf countries very strongly, came up in any statement. Of course, they were not happy what was going on, but you would expect much stronger support. So Iran, in a way, we can say is like a wounded tiger. I can use the word. Therefore, this word of rhetoric will commence, and then we have to remember that there is a BRICS summit coming up in Brazil, where our Prime Minister will be going, and Iran had joined BRICS, after that 2023 summit in Johannesburg. So I'm sure this will be also one of the subjects of discussion. Means at least Iran would try to rake up this issue. So the what will be unfolding will be very crucial, and Iran takes a confrontationist stand. If they try to do more mischief, then we'll have to see, because right now their capacity definitely has reduced for another round of armed conflict, like that. Yes.
Ambassador, I want to ask you two things. You mentioned Iran right now as a wounded tiger. Number one, I want to ask you that you also mentioned that next few days are crucial. Do you think that there will be a retaliation from Iran? Number one. Number two, do you think that Iran will continue its uranium enrichment program? Because some reports had said in the past that they had moved 400 kilograms of uranium.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Iran, though they have backed out from NPT, the other move which they had taken was, that Strait of Hormuz, which is one side is completely dominated by Iran. That is a very crucial waterway for because most of the oil exports to the world, flow from whether from Saudi Arabia or Qatar or UAE or Kuwait. They use this waterway, including of course Iran also, but Iran can have other options. Iraq, they flow through the Strait of Hormuz. So their parliament also more or less had agreed, decided that in countries' interest that they may close this waterway, which they have not done, which is a wise decision. Perhaps they feared that because it would affect the oil exports of countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE. So why earn more enemies? So Iran's nuclear program, as if we go back, since 2003, when Mr. George Bush was there, the president of US, then itself, this talk was going on. So Iran's nuclear program, should not be allowed to go to the weapons grade, and then under President Barack Obama, there was a move that Iran would be only allowed to go for civilian nuclear program, and not for for enrichment, which would lead to weapons grade enrichment. But again, when Obama was out and President Trump in his first term came, he sell that program, and they said they did not believe in Iran.
Okay.
So
Ambassador,
yeah.
Ambassador, we have paucity of time. I want to quickly ask you one thing, that do you think, considering the present situation, does it look like that Iran will go to the negotiating table?
With Iran, from various reports, whatever the rhetoric, it appears it has got weakened. And sorry for your crucial point, just want to complete a short point. Iran would like to go for a nuclear program. I mean, at weapons grade, because that will give it a big leverage, in the Middle East and also regionally. Because if given, they will definitely go for it. Now, how much setback that program has happened, that time will tell. And now that it has gone out of NPT, that may also be a little bit of a setback for Iran. So depending on how the regime, the present regime, in light of the pattern that has happened, they are able to sustain and come up. I know, and since they have got weakened, their air force was nowhere to be seen in this conflict. Their allies are in the Middle East are shattered. The Bashar al-Assad, another big ally of Iran, is no more. So, if good sense prevails and they don't go for this death sentence, they for the sake of the people, and if Iran wants to avoid a big internal problem, which had happened during the Shah's time. So they are likely to do good sense prevail for a negotiation, so that they can build up what they have lost. And then they can be on a good footing, as like what I think.
Definitely. I mean, only time will tell what will happen next. But there seems to be some obstacles, Ambassador. US wants Iran to come to the negotiating table. But as of now, Iran's saying that if President Trump wants to come to the negotiating table, then he should set aside his tone. They have a problem with US President Donald Trump's tone. But like I said, only time will tell what will happen next. We leave it there. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining in on the broadcast.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at other stories making news. The West Bengal police on Saturday arrested a campus security guard, marking the fourth arrest in the alleged gang rape case involving a law student at a Kolkata college. The arrest came 2 days after the 24-year-old law student accused multiple individuals of sexually assaulting her in the security guard's room at her college on Wednesday evening. The chariots of sibling deities Lord Balabhadra, Goddess Subhadra and Lord Jagannath on Saturday reached the destination Gundicha temple a day after the grand Rath Yatra began in Puri. The temple is considered the aunt's place of the deities who go there every year and will return to the main temple after 9 days. Residents across Delhi witnessed showers on Saturday afternoon, bringing much needed relief from the heat. India's Weather Office has issued an orange alert for the entire Delhi NCR region, accompanied by thunderstorms and gusty winds reaching 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. Pools for FIH Hockey Men's Junior World Cup 2025 revealed in Switzerland. Ayush Shetty and Tanvi Sharma advanced into semi-finals of US Open 2025 badminton tournament.
When resources are tight, it's time to rethink how we consume, how easily we throw things away, but often, bold ideas in our day-to-day lives can really turn things around.
In the mission, the school-level children are given the concept of waste management and circular economy.
The big advantage is you don't have to go back to the start of the chain like mining iron ore. You can reuse materials that have already been processed. So the sustainability aspects alone are incredibly valuable.
We are not trying to aim for fully automated, 100% digitized assets. We are always proposing a hybrid sort of operation where you're blending in technology where it's useful.
We have been making handicrafts from banana plants for quite some time now. Currently, we produce around 30 products.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. India's Minister for Railways, Ashwini Vaishnav, flagged off the Purulia-Bankura-Howrah mainline electric multiple unit train on Saturday, running via Masgram. This new mainline electric multiple unit service is set to greatly benefit the people of West Bengal by enhancing regional connectivity and easing travel.
जब से प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने देश की जिम्मेदारी ली है, रेलवे उनका हमेशा से एक फोकस रहा है। कैसे रेलवे में एक परिवर्तन आए, कैसे रेलवे का विस्तार हो, नए स्टेशन बने, नई पटरियां बने, नई टेक्नोलॉजी की ट्रेन आए, वो सब मोदी जी का बहुत बड़ा सपना है और उस सपने को पूरा करने में 12 लाख रेलवे परिवार के सभी सदस्य एक साथ जुटे हुए पूरी मेहनत से काम कर रहे हैं और आज उसका रिजल्ट कई जगह दिखाई देता है। वंदे भारत ट्रेन, नमो भारत ट्रेन, अमृत भारत ट्रेन, हर तरह से एक नया देश में रेलवे का एक नया रूप मिले हमारे सभी यात्रियों को, देशवासियों को।
The Rising East 2025 Entrepreneur Conference was organized by Laghu Udyog Bharati at the National Library in Kolkata, West Bengal, where extensive discussions took place on India's industrial future and the vital role of small industries. India's Minister of Railways Ashwini Vaishnav and Minister for Law and Justice Arjun Ram Meghwal attended the event. Addressing the event, Minister Vaishnav highlighted India's historic economic strength, stressing that public participation and a focus on product quality are essential to make India a developed nation.
2014 में मोदी जी ने जिम्मेदारी संभाली, फिर गति पकड़ा। जो सबसे बड़ी किसी भी अर्थव्यवस्था की, किसी भी राष्ट्र की ताकत में जो सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर होता है, कई फैक्टर्स हैं, लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर होता है आपके फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम की कितनी ताकत है। अगर 100 रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट सरकार करती है, 360 रुपए का इकोनॉमी में उसका प्रभाव आता है।
The Consulate General of India in Shanghai organized a vibrant event on Saturday celebrating the rich heritage of yoga, Ayurveda and meditation. The event also celebrated the successful observance of the 11th International Day of Yoga 2025. The gathering brought together yoga enthusiasts, Ayurveda practitioners and members of the Indian community from the cities of Shanghai, Shaoxing, Yiwu, Hangzhou and Nanjing. Consul General Prateek Mathur delivered the welcome address, emphasizing the universal appeal of yoga and its integration with Ayurveda for holistic wellness. A special program on Hool Divas was organized in Rang Bhavan of Akashvani in New Delhi to commemorate the Santhal Hool or Rebellion of 1855. The program was attended by India's Minister of Tribal Affairs, Joel Oram, and other dignitaries. Hool Divas is dedicated to the immortal martyrs of the Santhal freedom struggle, who along with the tribal people of Jharkhand rose in rebellion against the British on 30th of June 1855. Newlyweds Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos left their luxury hotel in Venice on Saturday for a private event. The couple exchanged rings on Friday on the small island of San Giorgio in the presence of scores of celebrity guests from media, fashion and show business. The closing party of the three-day wedding will take place on Saturday evening at the Venetian Arsenal, a former medieval shipyard in the east of the lagoon city. You're watching the India NewsHour. Time now for sport, and 6 pools for the upcoming FIH Hockey Men's Junior World Cup 2025 were revealed in draw ceremony in Lausanne, Switzerland. The Hockey Men's Junior World Cup will be played in Chennai and Madurai from 28th of November to 10th of December. Germany are the current junior men's world champions, having defeated France 2-1 in the final of the 2023 edition. Defending champions Germany is placed in Pool A, while France is placed in Pool F. Team India is placed in Pool B along with Chile, Pakistan and Switzerland. Indian shuttlers Ayush Shetty and Tanvi Sharma advanced into the semi-finals of the ongoing US 2025 badminton competition. Ayush Shetty progressed to the semi-finals after beating former junior world champion Kuo Kuan Lin in the quarterfinals. Ayush Shetty will face top seed Chou Tien-chen of Chinese Taipei in the semi-finals. The last time the two squared off, Chou Tien-chen beat Ayush Shetty in straight games. Meanwhile, Tanvi progressed to the semi-finals after beating Malaysia's Karu Pathevan. Tanvi will face world 7th seed Polina Burova of Ukraine in the semis. India's young sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi took India under-19 side to victory over England in the first game of the 5-match Youth ODI series. Suryavanshi slammed 48 runs off just 19 deliveries, which was laced with 5 maximums and 3 boundaries in his innings. The young 14-year-old opener built an exceptional 71-run partnership for the first wicket along with skipper Ayush Mahatre in 45 balls. Chasing a mere total of 175 runs in 50 overs, the men in blue chased down the target in 24th over with 6 wickets in hand. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.